final furlong. Oh, Mark Allen just in front. Neil Robertson made a good comeback today. Mark Allen won't be too pleased with that break-off. So the last thing he wanted to do was give his opponent an easy starter. But it was, as you said, Neil, fascinating this afternoon. Top quality snooker, break building, and indeed match play, safety play, long potting. I had it all. And I'm sure we're going to see more of the same tonight.
One.
Yeah, once again the break-off proving the downfall of a player. We see that sometimes now. This time it was an error in break-off. The red just, if you hit the bottom red too thick, it can creep up the table too far. Occasionally the bulk colours will get in the way, but not this time.
Four.
Yeah, that's the one thing he's probably saying to himself at the beginning of this final session. Don't give him an easy starter.
Five.
He won a very good last frame with a nice break of 67 when Robertson was getting into a flow with 2 centuries in a row. But that could be soon whittled away. Still a lot of work to do, but the balls are very
12.
nicely placed indeed.
13.
Well, they certainly both know they're playing well. I mean, the way that
20.
Neil Robertson qualified at the start of the week, wins over Jimmy White and Ding Junhui, and then that wonderful match
20.
against Mark Selby, one of the best you'll see over 11 frames. So he knows he's in great form. But in some ways, the man he's playing's form is even better. Mark Allen didn't play at his best against Scott Donaldson, but then he beat the world champion Ronnie O'Sullivan. And then, of course, backed it up by beating the world #1 Judd Trump. So these two have been by far the best players on show. No one could argue with that.
29.
Yeah, one more loose red here for Neil Robertson. The one in the extreme right of the bunch that will pot into the left centre. It'll be interesting, will he pull the cue ball back for the black here, or will he go up top side of the blue? He's shaking his head. He wanted probably a better angle on this red. Goes back for the black.
37.
His angle doesn't look great to go off the top cushion and into the pack. Maybe could have been a little bit higher. What can he generate here? Oh, that's a wonderful shot. He's very unlucky if he's not on a red here. I mean, from that angle, Neil, it didn't look like he had much of a chance to split a lot of reds there, but he
44.
played it superbly well.
Now, what a shot. I mean, the pace he hit it at. I mean, you cannot hit the ball any harder without it bouncing out of the pocket or off the table, I don't think. It was some shot.
Yeah, not entirely sure where he's on this red, and if he does take it on and misses it, he's going to leave a red to the right centre pocket, so a bit of pressure on this one. Near draw, I think. Yeah, near draw.
Neil Robertson. 44.
And he's left that red into the right centre. It was close, but any sort of touch on the near or far jaw, they ain't gonna go in. It's so tight, those middles now.
Yeah, most of the ones we've seen missed have gone to the other jaw, haven't they? But you're right, it was never in at the first jaw this time. Could be an early important stage of this match in that Robertson looked like he was going to do what he was doing this afternoon, winning the frame in one visit. He's come unstuck, a little unluckily perhaps. The shot on the black was so good. Reds didn't spread quite as he expected.
9.
This is the most important part of this frame coming up. What is the counter attack from Allen?
Yeah, I think the only criticism from Neil's point of view is he left the split to the last red. Could have gone into them maybe a little bit earlier when he had other free reds. That would, you know, nitpicking a little bit. When you leave it to the last red, and particularly the angle he wasn't too happy with, he did generate a lot of pace, and as I said, a little bit unlucky not to be on it, but that would be a very slight criticism, if any. But Mark Allen, he's been so good at this type of counter attack when his opponent is missed, just like he did against O'Sullivan, the way he did against Judd Trump last night. He's been so consistent in this part of his game, making good breaks, not century breaks, but frame winning breaks, just as important. This is where your cue ball really, where you rely on it. Good position.
30.
Keeping close control on it. You see he's got a very short bridge.
31.
Great control. He's nicely on this red here. When he pushes this red
38.
into the pocket, the cue ball will bring in maybe another. He's going to screw back off this, so hoping to bring all reds into play here.
39.
Yeah, nicely played.
Still got a key shot though here, and he must avoid the bolt colours both up and down towards the reds. Needs to get away from this top red here. He will be on the red
44.
near the pink spot, whatever happens. Players practice that shot the wrong side of the blue. Various different ways you can play it to get down for red, and he played it okay without being perfect.
Yeah, well, his rest spot success has been 100% so far, 10 out of 10. Doesn't have to do much with the cue ball here. Yeah, good putt.
45. $49. $50.
I've just got to keep his concentration. He's done all of the hard work.
57.
But if he plays down for high value colour, he's got to get back up for the yellow. And typical
58.
of Mark Allen, keeping things as simple as possible. Not using any cushions on that shot, or I don't think on this one. Needs yellow and green. And like I say, this feels
64.
there's a lot of snooker to go. Significant.
66.
Yeah, good frame to win for Mark Allen. Opponent in with 44. Misses. You come in, clear the table and go 2 ahead. Gives you a little bit of a
69.
gap and yeah, not much needed. A little bit of spring in your step as well going into this final session.
73.
Increases the pressure on his opponent, Neil Robertson. He knows every chance he misses,
78.
his opponent is going to come in and win frames like this.
Yeah, good position.
84.
Nice shot to conclude. Just a little bit short, but what a good effort this has been. And he goes for the double and goes in off the cue, I think. Well, that's the intention. Neil Robertson wasn't amused by that, but I tell you, what a frame. Significant. Robertson in. Didn't make enough when he got that chance. Allen cleared to lead by 2. That's what we're talking about here, isn't it? Just one error. Slight positional error. Missed pot. Sit down and watch your opponent.
Well, he's coming down to have a look at these 2 reds. They're in a line into this bottom right corner pocket. And there is a bit of a gap between the 2 reds. Now you see it. Certainly can be made. Made a couple of plants in one of the frames earlier on. Long way away this time. And not a good cue ball. So Robertson his first chance again.
One.
No problem there. He didn't put it cleanly, which means the cue ball now is nearer to the cushion than it should have been.
Well, that was a wonderful shot, wasn't it? Off the cushion.
No.
Yeah, have a look at this shot. I mean, he's just off straight, but he's cued it in like he was nowhere near the cushion with the cue ball. And off 2 cushions, back for the red. Beautifully cued. Oh, that's a great shot.
Once again, the pink ball thundered into the back of the pocket there.
50.
Probably can't quite work out how he's still a couple behind. He's always been behind in this match. Never put his nose in front at any point. Pegged it back to 4-all, but then crucially lost that last frame of the afternoon, and now the opening frame here tonight. So he's playing catch up.
Yeah, it's quite incredible. I mean, I'm looking at the stats here. He's He's 116 points. He's scored more than his opponent. His pot success is better. His long pot success is better. The only
60.
thing that's let him down is maybe his safety. There you see, there's his point scored. Pot success, he's ahead. Long pot success, he's ahead. Safety, he's fallen behind, but you would think with those other stats that he should be in front of this match.
I think what it is partly is that Mark Allen has won a couple of the very crucial close frames, isn't he? And that they're the ones that
23.
can make all the difference.
$24.
Yeah, one loose red, but this time deciding to go into the pack. You would feel he's having a look at it, hopefully still be on that loose red if he doesn't disturb anything from the pack of reds. And once again, not getting the rub of the ball so far, particularly when it splits.
29.
The hard bit about this shot is the that he's going to be bridging over the reds. Plenty of things in the way here of his natural cueing.
Yeah, and what'll be on his mind is, Neil, you know, he missed red into the left centre in the previous frame and it cost him the frame. If he takes that on and misses it, it could cost him another one. Doesn't want this cue ball going in.
Foul. Neil Robertson 29. Mark Allen 4.
I thought he did as much as he could do on the blue. I thought he hit his target, but he looked as good as anybody is at breaking the reds. You still need that element of luck, even if you're the best player into the bunch of the lot. Horses have to run for you, and they didn't really there. Wow. A bit of a grimace there from Mark Allen, because he realises that somehow he's left one when he thought that seemed unlikely.
One.
Now, nice angle on the black into the pack of reds. How's the split this time? It's not too bad. That red has just come over the left centre.
8.
Sort of saved them here in this instance.
9. $14. $15.
Yeah, quick look at the scoreboard there, and the reason for that is he's wondering, does he have to play into the two reds just to the right of the pink and make a little cannon on them, or will he just play for the loose one? And the reason he's done that is because he's got a 46-point lead now.
21.
If he was 46 points behind, he would have no hesitation to go into those two reds just to the right of the pink, the ones that are close together. But he'll win the frame, or be well ahead in the frame before he has to disturb those two.
29. 30.
He played a little cannon into them now. He's guaranteed to be on the red. Yeah, he played it nicely.
37.
Still queuing really, really well, isn't he? Neil
38.
Robertson. It's just there's been only very small, very fine margins between the two players.
Yeah, the standard all day has been very high. He's hitting the ball with authority, but of course, this was the frame he had to win to avoid being 3 down. It tells you what he's up against, doesn't it? So it's a good night to be sitting in and watching
45.
snooker, because you really wouldn't want to decide at this point which way this final's going to go. It's going to be great viewing.
46.
Can still make a century, and he seems always very keen to keep the break going long after the frame has been
51.
won.
52.
Yeah, his thirst and desire for century breaks is certainly unquestionable. Second to none, you would probably say.
59.
Made 10 already in this tournament so far. Plays that shot so
60.
well, doesn't he, off the cushion. John Parrott used to be a good cushion player, didn't he, Neil? He used to play those off the cushion very well.
66.
Probably because he was on the cushion most of the time, but he was very, very good off the cushion.
He was, yeah.
67.
It's been a high quality break again. He hasn't had to go down to the Bolken for any low value colours on any occasion, so been a good effort. But it ends there. The frame is
Neil
long
Robertson,
since won.
67
No century,
on the
but
front.
more importantly, he pegged the frame back against that man. So the final building up really nicely. Current score, Mark Allen 6, Neil Robertson 5. Final evening of play in the 2020 Champion of
The 12th
Champions.
Mark Allen to break.
10 is the target to lift the trophy.
Yeah, no attempt at a pot there, just playing a containing safety shot. Played it pretty well. Mark Allen, I'd love to get the cue ball up the right hand side of the table, down just right at the green, but doesn't look like he can flick off a red. Well, maybe he's trying. This is quite a delicate little shot, this. Yeah, he played it just a little bit heavy with the cue ball, but he pushed the red on. Didn't want to do that. Wanted to a finer contact on that red and hardly sort of move the red, but get the cue ball down that side of the table. So he's left it, Neil Robertson, a free shot here.
What a mistake. To hit the red, maybe half ball, might have sent the cue ball up the table, but he hit it full on. And it went nowhere.
One.
Yeah, this was the shot. He knew that he had an obstacle in his way, but he's hit it right in the middle, that red. And he's given an early good chance, the last thing he wanted.
Six. Seven.
Alan McManus pointed out earlier what good control of the cue ball playing up for the blue. It looks like the easiest shot in the world. He's gone a fraction too far this time. He is top side, which is the best part of it. It certainly makes your task of break building easier when you just pop the blue and drop in on the red rather than go all around the houses.
12. Thirteen. $18. 90.
Yeah, the red that's closest to this bottom left-hand corner pocket, he'd love to get rid of that, because that would free up the black into that pocket. Couldn't get on it there.
24.
It's just causing a problem. The red that's left of the black, and of course that one that's very close to the left corner pocket.
25.
Now this is where the hard work will start. Cleared up the loose reds.
31. 32.
A bit of a stretch, this one. I don't think he meant to finish quite there. Controlled it nicely though.
That's how he goes about his breaks, doesn't he? He sort of nicks reds out of the pack and plays these lovely little delicate shots and just picks away. Robertson likes to get the reds open
39.
very early, just like Judd Trump and Ronnie O'Sullivan. Mark Allen has a different approach to making breaks. It's just as effective, but he will pick away at a pack of reds, nudge them out gently but very eloquently.
Yeah, I mean, as a player, he's a bit of a one-off, isn't he? I can't really think of anyone else who plays quite in the same way as Mark.
45.
Short cue action, there's been a few like that, but you know, when he gets that cue ball under control, it's almost like thinking it into its next position more than anything else, or willing it to happen, and it does. Now, with some players, you know, it's all about technique and the way that they strike the ball. With Mark, it's pure timing, I think.
Yeah, a little shake of the head, not the greatest of angle on the pink. If you could leave the cue ball somewhere where it is now after potting the pink, that would be one possibility. You could screw it off 2 cushions back to this top cushion. That's what he's tried to do, and try to get a nice angle on this red. This could be the key shot if you can pot this red and get nicely out on the pink. Now you see he doesn't have much of a pocket to work with. There's going to be a lot of right hand side on this to widen the angle off the cushion. Oh,
53.
that looked like he just made sure of the pot.
I wonder if he felt that the black went, and he might have played on the black in the same pocket, Ken. It's, I know he misjudged it, but it appeared that the black was potable.
Yellow ball.
Otherwise, it was a slightly odd shot, wasn't it?
Mark Allen. 53.
He's finished it well, but he would rather have had something else to go at. Just got a funny feeling he played on the black. I'm not entirely sure, but it certainly wasn't what he got. But like I say, his final shot there, the safety shot, is a very tight one. It's a pretty good shot, in fact. Easy to get frustrated, having broken down before you felt you were going to. But he finished it with a correct shot.
Yeah, the old match play instincts took over there. Put the yellow safe. He's got a nice 53-point lead, and he's played a good safety shot as well, so he's got that bit of insurance. Nice shot from Neil Robertson.
I'm not too sure Mark Allen can get to the bulkhead in any way here. He just hit very thin on the red. Wow, he managed to get past the bunch. That was thin. Okay, he's left a very difficult red, but I think that was quite a good shot.
Well, this is certainly a test of cueing off the cushion again. Yeah, a lot of distance between cue ball and object ball. That wasn't easy.
One.
Well, he's proving a difficult man to keep out for any period of time. Finished on the key red.
5.
Red colour is all he needs.
Six.
Well, he'll have no interest in taking the cue ball around the angles here to get the bunch open. He needs to watch this black go in. Oh, in snookers, he's got his 2-frame
30.
cushion back.
Well, Colin, 13.
He's left an easy one here for Neil Robertson. Push the red up towards the blue and try and get that cue ball tight behind the pink. Not really tight enough. He really wanted to stop Mark Allen playing on either left side cushion or right side cushion. There's a big target here. You shouldn't really miss the red here, you wouldn't feel. Well, that's amazing. The cue ball has travelled down behind this black and he's actually snookered Mark Allen on all four reds. And it's quite a tough shot, this. You can't swear of it. I mean, you could play off one cushion or two cushion for either though, the red on the left or the red on the right. But this is a little bit more difficult now than the previous escape. Just got the right side of that red. Good escape.
Yeah, played slowly as well to avoid, if he did miss, any sort of chance of a free ball, which would have been enough to bring Robertson right back into the frame. Doesn't matter, of course, when you hit them, but you've got to think about the possibility of missing a snooker sometimes and what you might leave. Problem for Neil Robertson, it is two snookers, yes, but that would involve taking four reds with blacks, with the reds at the wrong end of the table to the black. So there's an argument you might need three snookers as it stands, realistically.
Yeah, very tall order indeed. Just doesn't want to give anything away here. Doesn't want to let his opponent in cheaply to possibly get a couple of reds and blacks. Keep those reds down in the bulk area. Another good safety shot. Will he take the double on here? May not risk it. May just try and keep his opponent at bay. If he can knock the black safe, it will be beneficial towards him.
Neil Robertson has not aided his course by hitting the black safe himself. And it's time to wonder how he's got any realistic chance of winning this frame now. Scores haven't changed, but just the balls have become totally against him. Over 7 minutes since the last ball was potted. Not a reflection of the way that this match has been played and the tempo. So you're always going to get moments like this, I guess. Well, even if it is a snooker, it looks pretty basic to hit those two reds in the bulk cushion. Big target.
One.
Well, that's a tremendous positional shot. Get on the black from there. It was incredible.
Eight.
There's still a very tall order here for Neil Robertson. Just going to try and roll up into these two reds. Has he missed it? Oh, just about.
Neil Robertson, 8.
Very delicate. Mark might try and either get the cue ball behind the black or try and push the black safe if he can.
The other thing I would say, I mean, if we assume that Mark Allen is going to win this frame, both players will be fully aware that the frame that comes before the mid-session interval is a big one. This was to go 7-5, and then, of course, Allen wins the next 8-5. He really has, you know, he's got one hand on the trophy almost. I feel like he'd made the breakaway that he needs. So even though they're both trying to still complete this frame, I'm sure the next frame is somewhere in their mind. Robertson really needs to win it.
Yeah, it'd be such a tall order, wouldn't it? Maybe 8-5 down if he did lose it. And this one, of course. Which means he'd have to win 5 of possible remaining 6 frames. The form Mark Allen is in, it'd be hard to do. Has he left this red into the left centre? There's a cut. May do. Yeah, shot.
1.
There seems to be a new rule in the game where the non-striker can concede at a moment like this. Neil has chosen not to do it. Of course, even then, the player at the table can continue the break
7.
if they want to. This frame is all over.
Mark Allen 7 on the frame.
Very satisfactory start, not for that man, but for Mark Allen, who has won 2 of the first 3 tonight. And again, his 2-frame cushion is back, and he leads Neil Robertson 7-5. And then we might have more of an idea who's going to become champion of champions for 2020, especially, I would say, if Mark Allen was to win this frame. Robertson needs to hang on, stay within striking range. Oh, what a shot.
1.
What a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautifully cued. Right into the middle of the pocket. Never touched the sides, and beautifully on the black as well.
Well, it's not an easy
8.
shot, is it, to get far enough up for the red. If he does underscrews it, the pink's in the way of the left-hand red. If he overscrews it, he's got no shot. I know he's got to get the rest out, but it was still pretty well played, that last shot. Maybe he's concerned that he's going to hit another red here, and maybe getting onto the colour is the problem.
Nine.
It's gone wrong. Tried to play a deft little cannon on that red and still be on the black, but he sort of made the cannon almost full ball. Wanted to just hit it sort of quarter ball and have a shot at the black. So just a safety shot now, you would feel.
Mark Allen 9. Thanks, Neil.
Right, it's got to go, this one.
Foul and a miss.
It's one of those, it
Mark
looked like it was
Allen
going to be hopelessly short even when he first hit it, but it just kept going and going, and was only about a ball's width away from getting to the reds. You would think that there'd be no problem here second time around. The line was good.
Yeah, cheers, Neil. Thanks.
Just a little bit more on the cue ball.
What's that one? Bit more, yeah. Yeah, Mark. Thank you.
Yeah, a little tap on the table from Mark Allen. Could have easily just slipped past this red. He would have been on the red beside the black. Nicely judged from Neil Robertson. Once again, another good safety shot from Mark Allen, covering the reds. Such an important shot, that, Neil, isn't it? I mean, well, you'd see a lot of players just go down, not really put much concentration into that particular shot, but so important just to keep a little bit of pressure and tension on your opponent. Even if it is an easy escape, it's still building up tension for him. And just every now and again, sometimes they can make a little mistake here.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you watch the snooker played at club level, amateur level, and some people's idea of a good safety shot is anything that just ends up in the bulk area, anywhere down there will do. But of course at this level, the way they pot long balls, you've got to make sure every shot is almost like an event. Every effort has got to go into it to keep your opponent out.
Yeah, here's another example. He could have easily played off the middle of the bunch and put the red into the balk area, but doesn't want to possibly bring a red over this left corner. And once again, it's pretty good. Okay, not a full ball snooker this time on the reds, but still a good length of cue ball. Trying to force a half chance out of his opponent.
Yes, his safety is pretty good, isn't it, Mark Allen? It's not the first thing you think of when you think of Mark Allen, the way he plays. You talk about his ferocious scoring ability. But his safety has been very good this week.
Yeah, Robertson's been lucky there. Knocked the red over this left corner, there you see it, but the brown has come to his rescue. No problem here for Mark Allen. Tries to get the cue ball back to balk. He's got to hide that red, which is going to be very difficult. May try and lay on a red. Maybe the red left to the black near this left corner pocket, but that's not straightforward. Could come off the side cushion and try and hit this red that's causing the problem. One down the left hand side near the left hand corner pocket, but if he hits that half ball or full ball, he could leave a red from the bunch, so it's a difficult situation, this.
Having a long look at it, that's for sure. Over a minute, approaching a minute and a half. And the line was not bad.
The mess. No, Robertson full.
No doubt. It'll go back. He'll have to make a minor adjustment, but you feel like he's on the right lines.
Mark. Yeah, Neil.
Yeah, that was the problem, wasn't it? He has left the red into the right centre. He's also got this red into the bottom right corner pocket, but I tell you, if Neil Robertson takes this red on into the right centre, it's not easy. There's pressure on this. Wow, that's a wonderful shot. Wow. I mean, that's so difficult shot, Neil, particularly with the pressure being 7-5 down, needing, you would feel, to win this frame. That's a really top quality shot.
Yeah, it's not the most comfortable place to hit that ball at. You'd like to hit it a fraction more firmly. But that was the reason he played it slow, so he could hold for a high value colour. Well, he's waited hard, a long time, patiently for this chance.
7.
And now he has to convert
8.
it.
Thirty.
Got a choice of reds here. This red into the right corner. All for pink or black. I'm not 100% sure he's on it. Still hold for pink or black here.
14.
Black will go on the yellow spot. It's the highest available.
$21. 22.
And the only problem with this is now he puts this pink and maybe play for the red that's actually on the pink spot. The pink will eventually go on its own spot, and that's what he's just slightly concerned with. What other red can he get on instead of that? He'd like to leave that red on the pink spot, but maybe forced into taking it after this.
$28. 29.
So pink will go back in its own spot now, and it just sort of doesn't give as many options. Would have liked to kept the black down this end of the table, but it wasn't possible. So it's got a bit of work to do now.
35.
Well, you've got a couple of options here. The top red will certainly disturb the other three.
36. Neil Robertson.
Wow.
36.
I thought when he hit it. Starting to miss him to the other jaw now. Maybe he's starting to overcompensate on these shots. Strange reaction of the ball, wasn't it, when it got near the pocket?
Yeah, just go back to that choice of shot. He was on the pink, just played for the red on the pink spot. He really wanted to keep that red there. Could have gone into the pack instead of played for that. There's just a few choices have cost him a few frames today, Neil Robertson, and maybe the difference. Just this cue ball hasn't been as good as his opponents had every time he's got in. He's still made centuries, don't get me wrong, but this cue ball just hasn't been as tight as he would have liked.
Five. Six. $12.
Just looking at the scores, Neil, he's 15 points behind, so that yellow he will need if he's going to win this frame. It could be a very important ball. Look at the spin he got on the cue ball there. Great power on his cue.
Yeah, his cue speed through that shot was quite something, wasn't it, to get that pace on the cue ball. Seems to whip the cue through the ball, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'll speak to him about that. Yeah.
A little bit of chat there, I think.
Can you make sure you don't take any when he's
The one
actually down in the
person
shot? Wait until he's taken
who's in
the shot.
here.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
As a photographer, has managed to take a picture right on his shot. I mean, the place is empty.
90. 20.
Yeah, so this pink will put him 1 point behind. Another possible 3 reds and 3 pinks before he'll tackle the yellow on the left hand side cushion. So it'll be only 20
26.
points he would feel at most before he gets to the yellow. So
27.
yellow and green will be required. And it's not an ideal cushion for a left-hander, that yellow. It's on the wrong side. It's okay for a right-hander, so he'll have to move it, you would feel. He's not worried about it yet. He's going to put red pink here and then tackle the difficult red along this top cushion. But it could prove very vital indeed.
34.
Critical stage of the frame and certainly of the match as well. This is where you'd like the black on its spot, wouldn't you? Because it's so much easier to get from red to the black. Instead, he's going to have to
40.
still work a bit harder to get on the pink, I guess. Can't get on anything else. Doesn't want to force it in.
41.
Yeah, of course he's got that blind spot. As you say, he's a left-hander, but he uses his right-handed, so it's even more awkward to get across to play down the cushion. So he would like to move it if possible. Oh, what a shot this could be. Unlucky not to be on it along the cushion, but he's got a shot. Nice again, exquisite timing.
47.
That was a tremendous shot, wasn't it? Natural angle as well, just to drop this yellow in. Cue ball be going close to the. Oh, he hit it. Tried to get out off the cushion. Could have just dropped that in, couldn't he? Dead weight. I think that's the way I would have played it, Neil.
Well, he played it the brave way. He played it with pace to leave himself an easier green. But like you say, the way he plays, if he'd have dropped it in, played on the green, the left middle, he may have still been at the table now.
What a shot from Neil Robertson, and what a turning point that yellow could prove to be, not only in this frame but indeed context of the whole match.
5.
Yeah, I think Robertson was also pretty mindful of not knocking the blue safe in potting that yellow. Feels very tense moment in the context of this whole match, whole tournament.
9.
Needs them all.
Yeah, a bit more distance from the blue than he would have liked, but he's still got a nice angle on it. Got to cue this nicely across the nap. Yeah, didn't go into the middle of the pocket, but still nice angle. One good positional shot. It's a natural angle just before the right middle up towards the black.
$20.
That's very good from Neil Robertson. He led in the frame, counter-attack from Mark Allen, but couldn't quite get there, missing an important yellow, and the clearance was very steely in the end. And at the mid-session interval, it's Mark Allen 7, Neil Robertson 6, all to play for.
Yeah, Mark was winning those tighter frames, closer frames early on in this match, but feels there's something in the air. There's been a change up after what happened in the end of that last frame.
That, though, Alan, was one of the most inaccurate shots he's played throughout this entire week.
Yeah, I mean, the general train of thought with that shot, if you're going to miss it, you maybe overcut it a tad. That was way too thin. Well, he's been a little fortunate not to leave anything easier than he has. Well within Mark's compass, this red.
One. Four. Five.
For a blunder. From Mark Allen as well. Never could foresee that. Lots of space round the back of the black to play for it. And of all the people.
Mark Allen. 5.
Very early stages of frame 14, and already we've seen one shot from both players. It's been totally uncharacteristic. a sure sign of the stakes.
Yeah. Re-rack.
Well, that was done pretty smartly. Just one negative safety shot into the pack. Robertson looked over at Allen. Allen nodded, and that was that. So it's going to be a re-rack in no time at all. I think my take from what we've seen so far in that frame, Allen, was first off Neil Robertson's butchered red, and then the awful positional shot from Allen.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a symptom of what we were saying in the studio, that the centuries have dried up. Here's those couple of shots here, way too thin by Neil. And Mark Allen, the blunder positionally, coming round for black here. Big target, as I said, but total misjudgment. The only good thing about the two misses was it re-rack them and forget about it. It's a new frame. But yeah, I agree with you, Phil. A sure sign of nerves and what's at stake. And he's left the exact same shot. He won't be this thin this time, I don't think. You never quite know, but seeing that, the cue ball glued to that bulk cushion. Wisely. Reneging on the red. If it was 2 or 3 inches off the bulk cushion, he'd definitely taken it on.
One.
Now that was played with his usual authority.
Four. Fine. So,
Of course, he didn't play for the bump. He did not play for this red.
Can he manoeuvre that red away from the pink to the left of it? Oh, well played.
11.
Cracking shot, deserves to be on it. his timing has momentarily deserted him. Can still get another chance perhaps to get
70.
high on that red, just above the black.
$18.
See if he can control it properly this time.
$23.
Allen's calling card is precise positional play. At the moment, it's not there.
$24.
See where he addresses this cue ball. Going deep. He can get the grab on this to get a piece of the pack. No, he couldn't. So possible red to left centre.
31. $32.
Now, Alan, that transforms the frame. What a lovely split.
Yeah, and quite deliberately. Got them a
39.
glancing blow. Got the cue ball spinning back on itself to just hold it in that area above the pink spot. This is one of these shots here I'd like to see him play it for pink and black. Almost screw a bit higher.
40.
Played it nicely, but the point is, as you see, you lose the cue ball there, you go too low. Sometimes give yourself another job to do. Played it nice. I
47.
actually do that very thing here, play for black and pink.
$48. $55. $56.
Alan almost certain to win the frame. Looking for what would be
62.
the 30th century of the tournament. Bear in mind, it's a tournament with only 16 players and therefore 15 matches. That's 2 a match. We've become blasé about the quality, but it's been wonderful throughout.
63.
So virtual frame ball dispatched.
70.
But important that this red disappears. Stop Neil coming back. I almost
72.
spotted 3 of them.
So the only remaining question in this frame, is he going to make a century? If he does get
79.
to 3 figures, as I said before, that's 30 for the event as he gets out that red off the cushion. The record for the champion of
8.
champions, 31 centuries, established a couple of years ago.
$85. 86. 91. 92.
'Yeah, the balance of his game all day has been exceptional, Mark Allen. And for large parts of it, he's given
99.
Neil a run around. I'm not saying he's completely dominated it,
101.
but a lot of smart snooker. It's also smart to recognise the
104.
quality of your opponent as long as it doesn't detract from your own performance, and certainly hasn't done that. Played a very
108.
good match all round, all day, his Mark. And the 2 frame advantage is restored again.
113.
Yes, Robertson has never been in front today. And every time he gets close, Allen keeps him at arm's length. The black for a total clearance.
190.
It really was a total
Five.
clearance.
119.
And Mark Allen, with a quality contribution, re-establishes a 2-frame cushion. The Marshall Arena is
The 15th
empty.
frame. Neil
But
Robertson
millions
to
of
break.
people around the world are being captivated by what is a terrific final. We've had 3 on the snooker circuit already this season. European Masters and English Open went to the wire. And indeed the Championship League final was a super watch, even though it was only best of 5. And you get the feeling here that the recipient of that piece of silverware might have to go to the wire as well.
One.
Great opening pot. Actually played it too well to under cook the cue ball. Yeah, just couldn't get enough of the contact on the pack to keep the cue ball down this end now.
8.
What's his angle on this red light? I don't think he can play for black from it. Looks like anyway, he's going to have to work the cue ball. Taking the other one, he can play the black off the top red. Ah, well played.
9.
And this is how proficient snooker's top players are these days. He will be fully expecting here, at the very
16.
least, to win the frame at this visit.
I thought it was quite telling the way that he
70.
played the black. It was full of aggression and intent, attacking intent. I think he made a conscious decision here,
Second
Neil,
place,
that you're going to try and pick up the pace wherever and whenever possible.
His pace stalled here because Rob Spencer, the referee, has to be really accurate in getting the pink back closest to its own spot, because all of these spots are occupied. And this is a delicate operation.
Yeah, just on the picking up the pace, I think Neil partly will feel that because of the way the match has gone all day,
Thank you.
played a lot of good
23.
stuff obviously, but he's been taking a step forward and then having to take a step back too often,
24.
due to, as I say, the canny way that Mark Allen's constructed this match.
$29. $30.
I don't know about that one. I have to question why he went
37.
into them the way that he did. Plenty of loose reds around. It always looked likely going deep on the cue ball. It was going to stick in there somewhere, didn't it? But that's that balance thing I'm talking about, you know. If, as I suspect that is the case, that Neil's trying to free himself up, you then sometimes make a decision that's perhaps not the correct one.
And we've seen this happen so many times in frames today. Happened in the first frame, where Robertson's
Robertson.
getting in and then surrendering
37.
position. He's not missing many pots.
Touch the ball.
94% pot success rate to this point, which is superior to that of Allen. But he's not turning those 20s, 30s, 40s into the big breaks with which he's become synonymous. Or at least not as often as the chances that have presented themselves.
No problem with this shot. Looks pretty complex in that picture, but as long as he doesn't miss cue, he'll be fine. He'll be up, cover that red in bulk. Or just outside bulk, but you get the meaning. The red must go. And what he was doing with his cue there is trying to leave the cue ball just above the left middle pocket, so this red goes. What a shot. And well thought out
Oh.
again. See, clear thinking paying off.
They say absence makes the heart grow fonder. The absence of titles for Mark Allen has increased his competitive desire. There's no doubt about that. He's been so intense all week. Right at the start of the tournament, he looked vulnerable. He was 3-2 down to Scott Donaldson. Might well have
6.
lost. But he made a 125 break and they decided to win 4-3, and ever since, he's been Mark Allen at his best.
Seven.
For someone like Allen, one of the premier players in the game, it's been a lengthy drought. He hasn't won a tournament
30.
since December 2018, the Scottish Open in, like co-commentators, home city of Glasgow.
14.
Last season, he lost in one final, 6 semi-finals. He doesn't want to be a Nearly man anymore.
21. $22. $29. 30.
For a left-hander, how well did he play that?
33.
He can just reach this. Well, he reached it comfortably, but landed it on a button once again. Been doing it all day long,
34.
and again.
$39.
And this will be really galling for Neil Robertson, because he opened up that break with a couple of really good pots. He was in prime position to his own good work, and to leave the table with only 37. Frustration.
$40.
Yeah, even there, he just nudged that red quite close to the black. Doesn't seem all that important right now,
46.
but it might in a minute, because if he gets really nice on it, he'll be picking his spot
47.
to tackle that last red. Shouldn't be a problem with his punchy action to hold this. Well, he's going to play a little brush cannon, half ball. It's ideal. Now this is a big shot coming up.
54.
Not this red, but the next one.
The one thing in his favour, I think the pots across the top cushion, since the table was recovered after the group phase, I think they have gone in slightly
55.
easier than they did before. And he removes the problem anyway. Artistry.
62. $63.
Two snookers
70.
now required by Robertson. If the yellow goes in, that's that.
Mark Allen, 70.
Looking at the scoreboard, the Australian, just a glimmer of hope.
It's one of those situations here. Is he going to get two snookers? He could do, and he's well good enough. The other option, I suppose, is peel it all down to the pink and one snooker to tie in the pink.
Two.
That tells us that that's what he's going to be doing. It's a funny one when you do that, because whichever shot he plays off the blue, it's not easy to leave the cue ball in a good position to get that
5.
snooker. He's going to have to obviously have the cue ball travelling across the table and back in behind the black, you would think.
Nine.
You see, it doesn't really matter what he does, he's going to have to do that. So, thinking about just leaving the cue ball just low of where the pink is now. Just below the horizontal line
40.
of it. Not bad. You want to get the snooker, but you have to keep the pink in the open, not near a cushion.
Neil Robertson, 14.
Always weak, and when you need a snooker with pink and black on, it pays to get it first time.
Yeah, that drop-in shot by Mark Allen, obviously that's the shot he's going to play. He's actually had a decent result, because his pink's going to chase down the table with the cue ball. If he tries to play in behind the black. Great effort, unfortunate. Tremendous effort.
I mentioned this afternoon, Alan. It's so unnatural to pot balls at pocket weight. Just knock it in. It's the conventional wisdom to do that, but it's so tough, and look what's happened. I'm not saying take a risk and get the cue ball running around or anything like that, but over distance, try to trickle balls in. You're asking a lot. He's not going to miss this.
Six in the frame.
And it means that Mark Allen is on the cusp of a great triumph. He needs one more frame to win the Champion of Champions. Major victory for quite some time. Is it about to arrive? A possible 4 frames remain. He needs just one.
Potted this very red just earlier, didn't he? Fancy this. Not what I, more importantly, I think Mark was expecting.
You're right, Alan. That was an action replay of the opening red he knocked in on his break of 119 2 frames ago.
Yeah, there's the total points. He's been playing catch up on that stat all day, Mark. He's had the lead for the vast majority of it. He's caught Neil eventually. Yeah, this red, straight red's no good with the push up and down. It's the guaranteed double. He's probably taking the pot on. Yeah, that was a smart way to play it. It's actually a fantastic shot, that was. In some ways you're not even bothered if you pot it. Get close to it, keep the red down this end. And back towards the long grass.
Now then.
One.
One thing we said right at the start, Alan, I think everyone in our team agrees with this. You could never, ever dispute Mark Allen's bottle.
No question about that. He's got plenty of it.
7. Eight.
And when you're trying to cross the line in such a big tournament, bottle, nerve is a priceless asset.
$30.
There, though, looks like he's in the middle of nowhere.
End the break. Barron. Here it is again. Anything but short, wasn't it? Might have been too long with that shot, and perhaps just the cue arm tightened. With good reason as well. We know what he's like when he gets in decent position. Didn't cut back, perhaps.
$40.
Well, he deserved better than that. He really did. At least he can lay a telling snooker.
Got to keep the cue ball in the right half of the green here.
Mark Cullen.
I don't know about
40.
that. I think Neil can get left cushion. He's missed a trick there, Mark. Get left cushion. Decent target to rest on the obvious red. You see, he would have wanted obviously closer to the green, but in the right half of the green with the cue ball as we see it now, to stop this escape.
Foul and a miss. Mark
Now,
Cullen.
Mark will be
4.
interested in this. The black certainly goes to right corner. Chance here. Push the other red out the way.
One.
A really good camera angle, that. Just underlining how difficult it was to judge. But at close quarters, Allen's mustard.
Eight. Nine.
This is a key shot now because you've got to play this at some sort of pace. Expect to get these reds in the open, so this pot is hugely important in the context of the chance to win frame match at this visit. Yes, well done. Yeah, he's got them exactly where you would want them now.
50. $60.
Remember, he's won 5 world ranking titles. He's won the Masters a couple of years ago.
22.
As an amateur, he swept the board. But
23.
after such a title famine, triumphing here would mean so much. And he's just got the right side of the blue. Just.
28. 29.
'A little shake of the head tells us he's not absolutely perfect. Too straight in the pink. And he can't, well, I mean, he could hold the spot and he'd still have a red to right centre, but of course the black's no good to left corner. I'm going to have to disturb something. Yeah, that'll do.
35. 36.
Another smart decision. Could have played on pink, decide to punch it in, take the kick out of the shot. And he's almost home.
And that man's crown is slipping. And if he does prevail, it's not
41.
what he's won, it's how he's won it. On the threshold
42.
of overcoming the great triumvirate. The leading 3 players in the world rankings at the moment. What a trio. In order: O'Sullivan, Trump, and now almost there against Robertson.
48. 49.
'And it's been a performance that'll be remembered for many a long
55.
day. Yes, the roll call of players he's beaten has been
56.
the best of the best. He can be immensely proud of himself.
And he's finished off as we expected him to,
63.
with steely resolve.
64.
He doesn't falter under pressure. He
71.
thrives.
72.
And Alan, after a week full of century breaks, wouldn't it be nice to finish off with one more?
79.
Yeah, it'll be fitting. Come on, don't miss this red. Keep the
8.
concentration levels going and enjoy the moment.
Northern Ireland has great snooker heritage.
85.
Dennis
87.
Taylor, world champion, 1985. Alex Higgins, a double world champion.
90.
And now a champion of champions in the shape of Mark Allen.
94. 99.
And of course, he's the first player to book his place in the tournament next year.
105.
Simply brilliant. Mark Allen has produced one of the performances of his life.
Well done, Mark.
He has won the Champion of Champions in absolutely fine style. He has beaten Neil Robertson by 10 frames to 6.